Hey Hornets, welcome back to the show. I'm Kate Rossow.
And I'm Dylan Tatman. This week we get into the details of tennis and dive into the pool to learn more about water polo.
All of this and more on this episode of Hornet Nation.
Kicking things off, the track team has 3 upcoming meets before regionals, namely the Golden Triangle here at Saline this Friday starting at noon. They will also compete in the SEC Red Championship at Monroe on the 9th at 3 p.m. and the Lincoln Invite on the 11th at 10 a.m.
Tennis terminology is very unique. Words such as love, deuce, and alley may sound confusing in the context of tennis, but Brady Nochdreeb is here to break it down for us.
In tennis, rules and guidelines are seemingly very different from other sports. Let's cover some of these and show that tennis is quite easy to understand in this edition of Inside the Game.
So the scoring in tennis is pretty interesting because there isn't like a set structure to it. You start at love, which is basically the equivalent of 0, and nobody's really sure where the name love came from, but that's just what we go with. It's been there for hundreds of years. And then you go to 15 and 30, which makes sense, right? You think, oh, it's jumping up by 15s. But then the last score in the game is 40.
In our research, we found out that the scoring is loosely based off a clock. The 45 will shorten to a 40 at some point due to the number of syllables.
Eventually, if both sides hit 40 at the same time, you reach deuce. You have to win 2 points in a row to win the game at deuce. Generally, you're going to want to be either standing on the baseline or the service line. The part in the middle of that is called no man's land, and the reason it's called that is because you can't really set yourself up for a good shot in no man's land.
This changes in doubles, where with 2 players, the area of play expands.
In singles, the court is basically guided by something called the single sideline, which is the first line right next to the alley. And the court is a lot smaller in singles, and then doubles, you play the full court, including the alleys.
As for fouls, we see them the most in serves.
Basically, to start the tennis point, you have to serve, and you get 2 chances to get the serve into the correct box. What happens to people is they get stressed on their second serve and then they don't make it in. And once that's done, the point is over and the other team gets the point without the ball even going into play.
So in the end, tennis is a game following a lot of the same structure as other sports, but misinterpreted due to some of the oddities left behind from the past. With this knowledge, tennis is just as easy a sport to understand as any other. Reporting for Hornet Nation, I'm Brady Nochdreeb.
Thanks, Brady. Hopefully that helps us the next time we cheer on our tennis players, which you can catch here at Saline tomorrow at 4 p.m.
The baseball and softball teams are off to a hot start with a combined 33-1 record. They both have their next games tonight, May 1st, here at Saline. Water polo is a physically demanding sport and quite difficult to learn.
Sarah Gava decided to get her feet wet to see for herself in this iteration of In Their Shoes.
Hello, Saline. I'm Sarah Gava.
And I'm Kelsey Altavo.
And today, I'm going to be jumping into the water for this segment of In Their Shoes. So, Kelsey, you're on the water polo team. Tell me a little bit about that. What do you do?
So I'm the goalie for our varsity water polo team. So my main job is just to protect the ball not getting in the cage and get the ball down the field on offense.
Gotcha. And then what are you going to teach me today?
So we're just going to go through some main skills that everyone who's playing water polo should know. So we're going to do some passing, some shooting, and then we're going to get in cage, and I'm going to teach you how to block the ball.
Awesome. I'm so ready.
So the main thing about passing is in water polo, you can only touch the ball with one hand. You're going to want to get high up out of the water. You're going to want to have your elbow high. You're going to release through your entire arm and body, and then release with a flick of the wrist at the end.
There you go.
I got it. That was good.
Hi, I'm learning water polo.
For getting in cage, the main difference is going to be when you're in goal, you can use 2 hands. So the most important thing is not to catch the ball, it's to knock the ball down. And the main thing is you're going to want to use both hands to flick the ball down.
Good.
Whoa.
There you go.
So now that I know a little bit more about water polo, we are going to try doing a best of 2 out of 3. I'm going to try to get 3 shots, and Kelsey's going to try to get 3 shots, and whoever has the most points at the end wins. Sorry. You're fine, too short. So thank you so much for coming in with us today. It was really fun, and I'm glad you got to do this with us.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Reporting for Hornet Nation, I'm Sarah Gava. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Sarah. If you want to catch the girls' water polo team in action, their next game is at Grand Blanc on May 7th at 6:15 p.m. For our last announcement of the day, we highlight the girls' soccer team. They have a game tomorrow at 7 p.m. at Ann Arbor Huron, and a game here at Saline next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Be sure to pay them a visit.
That's all for this show. Tune in next time for our Junior Show special.
Be sure to follow @Saline Video on Instagram and YouTube for show updates and behind-the-scenes content.
Have a great day, Hornets.
Yay.
Home run!